Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, and in today's video me and Venom are going to be talking to you guys about Thermostat. This future me coming into the editing, while I was editing, so I forgot to actually mention who the Reptile Room is. Reptile Room is a Facebook group on Facebook, obviously, that kind of it's a book about reptiles and owners. So all reptile owners can go join it, and you can go join it if you own reptiles too. Or if you want to get a reptile, or you want to ask any questions about reptiles, you can join the group and ask. So yeah, they're going to approve my videos from now on. I did do it for one video and then I kind of took a break because I wanted to fix my heat bulbs, so I didn't want to show them in videos and then represent their group with a bad representation of, because I didn't like the way I had my heating set up before I got my 4-foot set up for Venom. I didn't like it then, but I fixed it now, so I'm going to be back and they're going to approve my videos from now on, all my reptile videos. Okay, back to the video. So in this video I'm going to be talking to you about thermostats and the main three types of different thermostats and why you need a thermostat, why it's so important, and kind of the placing of the thermostat probes. So yeah, all this video is going to be all about thermostats. I'm going to explain it all to you. So starting off with the type of different thermostats, there's three different types of main different thermostats: on and off thermostats, postprofessional thermostats, and dimming thermostats. So don't worry, I know that's maybe there's three, but like it's quite simple when you get to know it, and then I'll be sure by this video you'll know all about thermostats by the end of this video. So yeah, let's start talking about on and off thermostats. So as in the name, on and off thermostats, they switch on and off. So on and off thermostats can be used for CHEs, circuit emitters, or elements, as people call them, emitters or elements, or heat mats. So they switch on, off, and then so they make sure when you're at the desired temp you need. So on thermostats, you set the temperature you need for your desired animal or a reptile in this instance. So if you want to do a 30 degrees or 25, something like that, you set it to that temperature, or between 25 and 30, and then it will be kept at that temperature. It won't go higher or lower. So when it's at that temperature, it will switch off and then go back on again and go on off to give you the whole temperature that whole day of the day that you have the heat mat or CHE on. So that's on off thermostat. Oh, and I forgot to say the placement for the on off thermostats. If you're using a heat mat, then you just place it where your snake would lie, because yeah, usually heat mats are used for snakes really. You put the thermostat probe right onto where the snake would lay on top of, so the top of the substrate, or where the snake would stay, near enough to where the snake would be staying. So kind of the surface temperature for heat mats. So that's where you put them for. And now let's move on to post-proportional thermostats. Now these are a bit advanced and a bit more accurate. So these were made after the on and off thermostats, and these can be used the same as CHEs and heat mats. Heat mats I'd just keep with on and off, and then the on and off thermostat, and then CHEs I'd use with a post-proportional, since it's kind of better that way. So what post-proportional is, what it does is it pulses electricity out, makes to give it less or more electricity, so at the desired temperature you need for your reptile, any reptile really. You can use CHEs for any reptile, not just snakes. But yeah, and Venom, why you're not looking at the camera? Very disrespectful. Look at the camera. Yeah. But yeah, pulse proportions they pulse electricity for more or less for to get your desired temp. So what they do is they are like a dimming thermostat, so get in, and then like an off thermostat. So they will kind of turn off, turn back on, turn back off, but in the way that it's not just turn off, turn on. It's just like it pulses it on and off, kind of like. It's hard to explain, but I don't get it fully either. But because I don't have a pulse proportional thermostat, but that's what it's used for, and that's the description of a pulse proportional thermostat is. just a disclaimer, while I was recording, or not recording, editing the video, I realised that the temperature was going up to about to 45. Temperature that was because the glass door was open. You can see now it's closed, and now it's just staying about 30, 39. But it'll probably go up to 40 and then stay at 40 or somewhere, I don't know. But up to 43, I don't know. But usually it doesn't go up to 45 unless I have the door open. But yeah, you can see the heat bulbs are working fine, and yeah, we're back to it. And then the placement of a postprofessional thermostat when you have the thermostat probe would be the same, except if you have a CHE, ceramic heating mirror, then you'd put where your animal would sit, or else you can, which would measure the surface temperature, and then beside at the wall, at the vivarium or tank, that would be called your ambient temperature. So there's two different ways you can do that. With and I'll talk about more dimming thermostats as well. This applies to more dimming thermostats, but still applies here, but more important dimming thermostats. But you can use postprofessional thermostats on CHEs and heat mats. So CHEs, so on, like I said, the thermostat probe on the surface, that's the measure on the, like where the snake would be, that's surface temperature, and at the wall then would be the ambient air temperature. So whatever you want to measure is what you want to do. Is, so if you want to measure surface temperature, you go on the surface, or the ambient temperature with the air, then you would do it on the sides of the wall, or tank, or vivarium, or whatever you use, or tub, even if you put snakes in tubs. But yeah, yeah. But I keep repeating things since I've lost going through my mind making this video. But yeah. Well, so let me think. So yeah, ambient temperature at the side and everything on the bottom. That's for CHEs. Now I said that. Now for heat mats, for postprofessional thermostats. Like I said, with the on and off thermostats, you can use it on the heat mat, on the probe, on the thermostat probe on the heat mat, or where the snake would be on top of the substrate. So that wouldn't work with the ambient temperature, the air temperature. That, yeah, never mind that. If you want to do that, then use a CHE, but a ceramic heat mat. But other than that, if you want to just use the heat mat, then you would just put it on top of the substrate. Say like your heat mat is here, your substrate, then you put the probe on top. Simple as that. Now I said a little bit about postprofessional thermostats and on-off thermostats. Let's move on to dimming. Dimming thermostats can be used for bulbs, heat mats, heat cables, CHEs, basically everything. So as doesn't switch off, doesn't switch on. Well, does switch on, but doesn't switch off on. Like postprofessional thermostats kind of do, and then on and off thermostats do. Like I said, postprofessional does pulses the energy out and in to get your desired temp, more or less. But I said that already, so let's talk about dimming thermostats. So they dim your electricity. They kind of like bring it down. Instead of like taking it out and moving it in, they take it down. So they kind of dim it. So think of it in this way. So if you had a bulb on full bloom without a thermostat, it'd be called full brightness. But then if you have it on a dimming thermostat and you have a set between lower than actual needs of its full energy, then it will just then the bulb will just go less brighter, rather than more electricity making more heat. It will just go less brighter, making the bulb first less heat, less kind of beam, and then that means less temperature or heat coming off it. So that's what a dimming thermostat is. It dims down the bulbs. So yeah, as you can get what I'm trying to say, dimming thermostats can be used for heat bulbs. Like you'll see mine now in a second when I go to show it, because I'll show you how we'll have my thermostat up. I have a dimming thermostat, as that's what you required for your beer dragons, and you can see, I'll show you where the placement of mine is and how mine works in a second. I just want to get through all these thermostats and how to use them first. So, as I said, dimming thermostats can be used for bulbs, CHEs, heat mats, heat cables. What are things? Heat radiators, actually. I didn't think about that yet. Heat radiators for like Reptile ones. And yeah, that's it. Now, back to what I was kind of saying with the proportional, and then kind of it applies more importantly for thermostats. You can do ambient temperature and surface temperature. Now, applies more, and you understand it more when I show you in a second. But this applies more to different thermostats, especially if you have high range or low range. I have low range, or not low range, but kind of mid range. The main kind of thing. It's not really special for high temps, but like it works as the main thermostat. There's two different kinds. I'll explain it actually really quickly. So then, if you're confused, then you know. High range thermostats kind of go up to about 40, or maybe a small bit more. Where the main range thermostats only go up to about 33, 35. So, you're probably wondering why I have a mid range. Well, thermostats are hard to find where I live in Ireland, but I was looking to find that, and that I found a way that works for me, and then only for me. So if what I show you now, that doesn't mean it works for you. So don't try to copy me. Just find what works for you with your thermostat. But but the only thing I'm gonna say is tell you not to do is don't put your bulb on other thermostats, because it'll go on, your bulb on plus the Porsche on enough thermostats, because it'll go on off, go psh, break the bulb, and there'll be glass everywhere, which wouldn't be nice for your Reptile. Wouldn't it not be nice for them? So yeah. Well, so I have mine on the surface temperature, which you'll get to see in a second. I'll keep saying I'm going to show you, but I will in a second. And then which way is the surface? That's how I got it for me. But other ways of doing it is the ambient temperature is from the side. Inside where it measures the air temperature. Now it's up to the person owner of the Reptile what they want to do and what works for them. But I use surface temperature. That's what works for me. I tried ambient temperature, like the air temperature didn't work. It just goes too hot or too low. So that's what the thermostats are. They dim the bulb, and they don't take any energy, but they dim it. They put the energy down, kind of like slow it down. So it's still going, but just slow it down. The thermostat box will slow it down, take it in, and give a little bit amount of it. Oh, nearly just back to him by accident. But that's what temperature is. Now I'll show you my one actually. Finally I'll show you mine. How I have mine, thermostat set up, and I have my I'm actually going to put Venom back in her room, because she kept climbing off me because she wants to go back in. So I'll put her back in, and I'll show you my one then. Here you go. Yeah. Let's close this for a second. And now I'll flip the camera. So I have my phone's flashlight on to show you, because it's kind of dark, because this is the back of Terrarium. But here you can see I have my dimming thermostat, and it's set on the max temperature I can get it at. And you can see this is power light, and then the heat light here, and then the dimming thermostat, max 600 watt. But my bulb is a 75 watt bulb, so I don't have to worry about going over the max or minimum, because the minimum on this thermostat is 40 watts. But that doesn't matter. I showed you now, so let's just put it back down here safely, and before I don't switch the thing by accident. And then I'll just put that there for his comfort while I put Venom there. But yeah, so I'll show you Venom's setup and the way that works. So now we go down here, and then you'll see Venom wandering off down there. Okay, but this is how I have mine set up. Let me just get down and show you. So now you can see her bulb is gone off for some reason. Oh, now it's gone back on. I don't know why it went like that, but yeah. So now I have the probes here. It's kind of a surface temperature, kind of ambient temperature, because it's where her back would be. So that it measures about, let's see, 39.8. And then I have my thermostat probe over here. So it's kind of not underneath it, but it's kind of beside it. So yeah, I'm still measuring thermostats like she's getting around here, but then I'm also kind of making sure it keeps at the right temperature. So when I put as I said, the way it works for me, when I put my thermostat there, I get the right temperatures I need there. That's how mine works. So as I said, I measure the surface temperature, so you can see this is the surface temperature. This is where she would sit or lie down on this piece of driftwood, and I also have this rock as well covered in a bit of sock, since it doesn't absorb too much heat and burn her. But that's how I have mine set up here. Now I'm actually going to talk a little bit about the ambient temperature to show you what I meant. Well, see, if I took this one out here, just to show you, like this would be called an ambient temperature. When it's hooked up here, and then it's kind of given out like that, and then the bulb would kind of recognise it, or even the back here, it would work. That's what the ambient temperature, how you'd measure it, and that's how you measure the air temperature that's in the air. Let me just fix that, in the vivarium. That's how you'd measure air temperature if it was up here. But this is what works for me, and I have mine here around this mark in the middle of where this kind of, you see, I have a hook in here, so it'll kind of like, that's the wrong one, I'm feeling the wrong one. I'm just trying to look through the camera. Yeah, it's this one here, so kind of in this little half I have a gap, so about here, that's where my thermostat probably put it down, and then I'll also just go like that, and then set up, perfect. And I'll make sure it keeps it warm. I did go down a grade, but that's because the frame's open, but yeah, just leaving its temperature, but once I close it, it'll just fluctuate back down. So that's it for this video on thermostats and what thermostats are, what different thermostats there are, and how to use them, and where to place your probe, because a lot of videos actually don't talk about that. So I decided to talk about that, as that's very important where you put your probe, because if you have your probe placed wrong, what's going to happen? Your probe's going to get too your heat mat, your CHG, your whatever heat element you use, it'll be too hot or too low for your reptile, and then they could burn themselves or not be able to digest their food, because reptiles need heat to digest their food, as they're cold-blooded creatures. So yeah, that's it for this video on thermostats and explain them. So hope you learned something about thermostats, or something new, or you just enjoyed watching. Yeah. So don't forget to leave a like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications to get notification when I post. Bye. Bye.